I normally didn't have to ever change that setting, but I guess this time I did. So yeah, we are now about to head into the DLC area. I just want to let you know about my character. This is sort of like a cleric kind of faith build. You can check out my stats if that means anything to you. This is the character that I used to go through the game initially with my PC, the first time I played the PC version. I didn't actually use this character to play the DLC yet. I have another character that I, was about halfway through the game with, so I just chose that person as my DLC player. But this time, because the DLC item ends up in your pocket basically for every character you play, I can just jump right into the DLC. And with this character, I finished the game. I did not go into New Game Plus yet because I'm a coward, and I'm afraid to, but I will soon do that. Let me stop being an idiot here and figure out where the hole is to go down. Somewhere around here. There we go. So yeah, the Rotten was kind of a pretty, not too bad fight. And yeah, my character is about level 140, 150? Oh, 150, yeah, so I should be okay as far as enemies go in this area, this upcoming area. So there's the Primal Bonfire, and we'll just run right past that because who needs it. That will warp you right back to Majula if you use it, and you can't warp to it. It just meant to send you right back to Majula. So this statue might look familiar to you. I'm no lore master, although I love Dark Souls lore. But this is the same statue that's in the Shrine of Winter, and each of these heads that's severed represents a dragon that you'll be fighting in the DLC to come. So we're going to fight one dragon in this DLC, and I assume we're going to fight the other two in the other two DLCs. So let's warp to the DLC area now. So here we are, and if you don't have the DLC, you can actually warp here. You can't open this door, which will let you into the DLC area, but you can put down your summon sign in this area, and if you do that, you will you'll be able to be summoned into someone else's game that has the DLC, but only in one specific area, a very, very hard area that is a really crazy kind of like 3-room dungeon that's full of all kinds of hideous traps, and there's a three boss rumble at the end of that. So yeah. If you don't have the DLC, you can at least try out that part of it. And there's really nothing down here, so I could be wrong. All these stupid all these floor things tend to lie to me in this area. So yeah. So yeah, feel free to ask questions. Let me know you're still there, and I'll get started with the DLC. Try to explain things as I go. We're gonna use our Dragon's Talon to get in here. And if you want to know the quality of this DLC, please read my review. I loved it. Yeah, it's well worth $10. I spent easily maybe 12 to 15 hours on it alone, and that was just kind of exploring every nook and cranny. It's much more in line with what Dark Souls 1 was, and that is just like a very, very, a very dense, multi-layered level that is. It's about surviving, and it's about mapping it out in your head and trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B, not necessarily in a straight line either. So. Yeah, I just love how atmospheric this level is, and it's also very spooky. So we should be in for a little bit of surprise coming up here. Not a lot of enemies in this little pathway, but we'll see a new friend soon. One of our new best friends we're going to meet in this DLC. If you listen, you can kind of hear him, but he won't show up for another... He'll show up soon. Oh, there he is. So this is our new friend, Sin. S-I-N-H, I think that's how you spell it, and he is, spoiler alert, he's the last boss you'll be fighting in this DLC. I mean, they telegraph it pretty well, so it's not like it's too much of a spoiler, but, yeah. He is as you can see, there's a spear through him, and I believe that factors into his backstory. As with any Dark Souls lore, it's all very environmental. It's all very like paying attention to details. So like you can read up on why that spear is pierced through his body and what that signifies. But I totally forget. I haven't watched any good lore videos on this section, and I'm pretty bad at piecing it together myself. So we're going to continue down here, and danger zone ahead, as it said. And here's our first bonfire. And you know what? I just might summon someone into this level. Sorry, just to make things go a little faster. But I don't know. So as you can see here, this is basically a road to nowhere. We're going to open up this this elevator later. So lots of shortcuts in this level, which is great. They're not always obvious or evident, and so much of this experience is trying to figure out how to dart past enemies because they are very powerful. But you know what? Let's roll with a huge posse today. So we got one co-op person in our game here, so that's fine. I tend to be very thankful to co-op partners, as you can see. And he just said hello, but or she, I can't tell with that armor. Looks like a guy with the beard and everything. So let's get going here. These are the first enemies you'll fight. They're Sanctum Knights, and these maces they hold are surprisingly powerful. I really hope I don't die this early. Just a word of warning, I'm totally not used to this character's moveset. I'm used to using a Drangleic sword with my character. So, yeah, like, I haven't used the mace in maybe like 2 months, so it'll take me a few enemy encounters to get over this. And I guess Jan is busy taking out, we can do this at least. Oh. So as you can see, Jan hit the, there we go. She hit that switch, it caused a huge column to burst out of the ground, injuring a ton of enemies. And there's actually another switch here, and I might be able to hit it, if I'm lucky. I hit it. And this will help us out too, because, as you can see, it really screws up enemies. It's a great little offensive trick you can use, because there are a ton of these soldiers up here. And they're all, they can really surround you easily. They're easy to take on one at a time, like with most Dark Souls enemies, but yeah, they are pretty tough in groups. And I'm really not used to using the mace, but that certainly was a good feeling to do that again. So yeah, I really forgot how miracles work, because my new character is just no spells, just strength, so it's kind of weird to have to set my power at my fingertips again, but whatever. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions about the DLC. Like I said, I played to the end. I spent a lot of time on it, especially that first boss, which some people had no problem with. I thought she was really one of the hardest bosses I've fought in a game, and I think it's just because I got unlucky. Oops. I'm gonna do this. And I think that will help us out. So hopefully Jan won't get too far from me, but I'm gonna do this. Pick up the longbow +7. You will need a bow in this area, by the way, because there are switches you have to hit that you can only hit with a bow. So they're nice enough to give you a pretty powerful bow. It takes quite a few things to, you know, get your bow up to +7. Luckily, one at a time, these guys are really easy to backstab, so as you can see, I'm doing okay. And let me just take a moment to refresh the chat. I just want to, I'm getting some weird errors in the chat window here. Oops. Hey, that so-called friend ran ahead without me. That was really just reckless. And recklessness is always punished in Dark Souls, so there you have it. I don't think there's anything over here. Yep. So yeah, this DLC is $10, and it is really worth the money. I'm no Bandai Namco sales representative, but it's a great value, and I'm really looking forward to what they do with the remaining DLC, because they've really set the bar high with this one. I hope they're not phoning it in with the remaining two. Oh, for some reason I thought that was going to be the enemy. But here come the Spider Brigade, and I can hear them. Okay, so I'm gonna try to avoid these guys and take them on one at a time. There are a lot of these Sunken soldiers in this area, and like I said, really the most effective way to fight them is to not fight them if you can help it. I typically try to open up as many shortcuts as I can in order to just run past them as fast as I can, because after a while you just get sick of fighting them. And that was probably a mistake on my part, but maybe I can do this. As you can see, that you don't really want to mess with the homunculus mace. Homunculus mace. Okay. I'm starting to get back into the swing of using this mace, which is good. I'm used to the really long reach of the sword, the Drangleic sword, but yeah, whatever. This works too. And if you didn't notice, this will link up right back to the beginning part of the level, so we can easily just jump over to here and continue down with avoiding that whole beginning area, which is nice. It's a nice little time saver. And these guys really need to learn to avoid me backstabbing them, although I didn't do it that time. I got too confident. This is really the first time I'm playing this with headphones on, so I'm getting a real taste of the disgusting, skittering spider noises they fill this level with. And actually, I don't like spiders in games, but these guys aren't too gross. They don't dangle down and surprise you like in Ocarina of Time, so that's fine by me. I prefer spiders that slowly introduce themselves to you over time. And I believe these pods are filled with acid, so you don't want to attack them. Use fire bombs, use a bow and arrow if you can. I think that will also destroy them. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my bearings here. It's really easy to get lost in the beginning when you first start playing this area. Later, you get a real sense for where everything is. This time around, whoop, not so much. Hopefully I can make this jump without dying. Yeah, that was an easy jump to make. So let's hit this bad boy. That'll bring us, give us a little platform to go to the next area on. And as you can see, I'm level 150, but still, these things are a threat. So yeah, the DLC does not screw around in terms of difficulty. And I really hate these sword guys. So, oh yeah, I can do this. Yeah, I really like the switches in this level. Someone on a message board described it as like I'm in a Zelda dungeon from hell. And that's what it really feels like. Like, Zelda dungeons are never this dangerous. I'm hearing some skittering. So yeah, we're gonna take out some of these spider guys. They have a real name, I forget what it is, like corrosive spider bug or corrosive pod thing, or I don't know. They are pretty weak. The real problem is they will degrade your equipment if you let them. And as you can see, my homunculus mace is already down to almost less than halfway. That fog is a real pain. Yeah, they really screwed me up there, so I'm gonna consider going back to the bonfire just to recover my my weapon power, my weapon status, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, because now I open up a shortcut, it's going to be much easier to get back here. And I do think that From Software really nerfed the lightning spear in this with their latest patches, because I think I've heard that they took down the amount of lightning spears you can throw. It does seem lesser, and I really use those to cheese my way through the game initially, so maybe it's for the best. There we go. Oh, that was so close. That was really close. One of the closest calls probably I've had. So I'm going to go back to the bonfire now, and I'll show you the neat little shortcut I unlocked that will allow me to just sail past a ton of dangers. If I can manage to find my way back there, that is. Actually, you know what? I have the magic feather that will take you back to your last bonfire, so let's just use that. Okay, so I'm going to rest up at the bonfire, and that'll bring my equipment back up to where it should be. And look, there's more people. Let's try to bring some of these guys in and see if they're any better than Jan. Although Jan could be right here for all I know. Dragon Queen, ah. I believe Dragon Queen has finished the DLC because she has the crown. So I don't know if these people know, but they're being immortalized in a USgamer stream, so thank you very much, folks. I appreciate your kindness. Alright, so... Okay, I'll show you what just happened earlier. So I hit a switch. Let's just kill this guy real fast. Or maybe they can help me. I had my clerics chime out. So look, hey, there's a shortcut. We just opened that up. That wasn't there before. This might look familiar to you. It should. I was just here, but I just surpassed like not surpassed, but passed by like maybe 5-10 minutes worth of enemy encounters, which is great. A lot of this level is just opening up shortcuts, and I love it. Oops, wrong way. Yeah, see, even I'm getting lost at this point, but it's cool. I know which way I'm supposed to go. Oh, okay, see? And it is still easy to die in Dark Souls 2. Hey, you know what? That was like 20 minutes without a death, so that's pretty good. Okay. So now we can't summon anybody, but I'll be fine. I know which way I'm going, and I've been this way before. I don't give a crap about these insects. And I'm gonna go this way. So I'm gonna be running past a lot of these guys just because they're a pain. That was kind of a mistake, but we can recover. I am being chased by about 6 of these guys right now, but if I come up here, I should be able to lose most of them, or at least take them on one at a time on this little bridge here, which is, it may sound dangerous, but they're really easy to shove off, they're really easy to confuse, and I think I might have lost them. Nope, there we go. They are really resistant to magic attacks and basically they're resistant to everything, these guys, so you can't really resort to your old tricks. You gotta really diversify and such, but... So now I'm gonna lose them this way. As you can see, it's just going to be a game of cat and mouse here. Now let's drop down here, chug some Estus. It really is best to take them out one at a time, just because they can surround you, they can be a little too much to handle, but I think that's it. Believe me, this took me much longer than 20 minutes to get here during my first try, so I'm actually doing really good this time. If it looks like I made a few dumb mistakes. I did make a few dumb mistakes, but this guy's pretty dumb himself. I mean, you're just standing in the corner asking for a backstab or a back club. You don't want to go down there. Actually, yeah, you do. But I'm going to go in through the regular entrance just because I don't really remember where that will bring me. Let's just do something really quick here. Oh. I am being hit with arrows, but I'm trying to stop that from happening, so... Luckily you can fight arrows with arrows. As you know from Dark Souls history, archers are extremely annoying. They will plink away at you forever. They will make you fall. They'll shave off the last sliver of life just as just when you need it the most. And yeah, archers are just a pain in the ass. But we don't need archers. I'll show you how to take care of them in 1 second. Okay, so let's swing around here, go up, and here's a little pro tip for you folks. Archers are annoying, but as I did earlier, you can build yourself some nice cover out of these switches. So hit these switches, raise the terrain. The archers can't target you from down here, so you'll be safe. You can walk up at your leisure, plink away at them yourself, draw them out one at a time. This guy probably come down and see me. Oh, forgot about that mace guy. He'll chase me, but we'll be fine. We'll be just fine. So those mace guys, they have a huge sort of wind-up animation for their attack. Not a wind-up, but it takes them a while to recover from that attack, so they're pretty easy to backstab. Backstabbing is your key to success in this DLC because the enemies are tough, have a lot of hit points, and oh, don't go down easy. I'm going to take this guy out because he's really annoying me, and I need him out of the way to hit a switch, so you know what? Put it away. Put it away. Put it away. And I'm really lucky I have all the Estus I need for this. I'm going to take a few cheap hits just to hit this switch here. And I'm protected for good. So, as you can see, really cool strategies. You actually have to build cover for yourself. You don't have to, but obviously you can see how much it helped me. There's still one jerk up there though, but we can get out of his way. And we'll bring that thing up. I forget what that does. I think there's a treasure in it or something like that. I don't quite remember. Okay, let's go back up to where we came from, and I'll show you what we did exactly. So you're building terrain to block arrows, of course. You're also building terrain to cross, as you can see over here. So we can, maybe, I don't know if we can jump across to that. I'm not going to get this item here. There's an item down here if you jump down. I don't need it right now. So I'll just let you know that it's possible to get. You know, I don't want to die. I want to make some more progress in this little trip, so... I believe I might have missed a bonfire, but I do want to show you guys one thing real quick. Which is our dragon friend's going to come back and say hi. And, he's really cool. That's actually very helpful because he kills those 2 lancers. He'll only do it once though, and you have to take them on yourself after his 1 appearance. So that is a huge help. These guys aren't too hard. They're just, you know, a pain to have to take out over and over and over again. Okay, so before I go on, I'm going to unlock that second bonfire because I'm pretty sure I would like to have that just as a safeguard. Here's another elevator that will open up later, and a rusted coin, which I've never, ever, ever used. In fact, I forget what they do, so thanks for nothing, Dark Souls 2. I do want to show you this guy. This is an enemy, believe it or not. Those statues that you hated a couple levels ago, well, they're back, and they're worse because they can move, you can't target them, and you can attack them manually, but you have to hit the very, very tiny part underneath their underside. They're like little turtles or something like that. Again, back club. Devastating, devastating. I just love that animation too. So actually, let's go back up that winding pathway. There are a few things up there, and some fun battles to take part in. So let's see if we can draw these guys out one at a time. There is a limit to how far enemies will come out from their starting positions. It's really funny, like when they will follow you 50 feet, but then like, oh, I've gone too far. Sorry, I gotta go back. Not in my jurisdiction. Oh, that was rough. That was a rough circumstances. I did get greedy. Do never get greedy in a Souls game. It will be the death of you. But it's cool because we'll just run back to where we came from. I don't care about this guy at all. Key to success in Souls is knowing when to get the heck out of where you're coming from. Oh, and I did it again! I did it again! Okay. I can't believe I did that again. You have my sincerest apologies. Okay, let's try that again. I might be making this too hard on myself. I think if I run through this little area here, I can drop down here. That's a dead end, okay. As you can see, even with the experience I have, I'm still getting lost in this game, in this DLC, rather. And I'm pretty sure I was right the first time. That guy's no longer facing the wall. I think he caught wise. Oh man, yeah. I am just not used to the lack of reach on this mace. I am blaming my weapon, by the way. I'll tell you what, that Drang Lake sword is so great. I'm pretty sure I lost those guys that were following me. They tend to draw back after a bit. I don't want to speak too soon, though. There's one of them on the stairs over there. I guess he's gonna be hanging out. We're gonna lure him in here so it's easier to fight. And looks like he fell to his death, so that's great. Okay. Hey man, whatever. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I am experimenting with something. Arrow guys are so annoying. Otherwise known as archers to the rest of the English-speaking world. I call them arrow guys. So I'm going to try to lure one of these guys down here, and I have magic, so I might as well make the best of it. And they're really resistant to everything, but luckily that'll do me a little damage. Yeah, it's really, I don't know, physical weapons seem to be the best bet for this area, just because they're much faster, and yeah. I would really hate to be a sorcerer in this area just because, God, you really need a physical weapon. But, you know, the game, this is designed to be played very late in the game, and by that time you should have enough stats for just an okay weapon. I'm playing it very safe, by the way. I just have this guy follow me around a rock all day. Whoops. Hi. Okay, so let's head up here. I think I wasted my time, but... Oh, there's a switch. Here's a guy you want to avoid. Ah, so here's... Okay, yeah. I was supposed to go that way. So, we found the next bonfire. Way to go, everybody. I credit all of you for your moral support. Next bonfire is really useful. Hopefully... Ah, damn it. There should be one more block, and I need to find... I think that's it. Hopefully this will not send me flying into a chasm. Yeah. No, that was the right one. Awesome. So guys, you've been kind of quiet. Let me know what's up. If you've got any questions, we're about to see some exciting stuff soon, so hang in there. And this is the next next spot right here. Next bonfire, rather. So there's a pro tip for you. Find the bonfires. And the bonfires are hidden like crazy in this DLC. They, especially the one before the two bosses you fight in a row. Yeah, it is slightly unfair, maybe. I just think hiding safe spots is a little mean, but especially when they're hidden behind illusion walls that are kind of hard to find in this game, to be honest. I mean, it's best to go through a level with someone doing co-op and they can kind of show you where all the illusion walls are. That guy was really not too bright. Not too bright. So in a minute or two, I can show you one of the coolest enemies in this DLC. One that I think is one of the greatest screw yous to players, in a good way. So as you can see, these guys are not going to be killed by a dragon anytime soon, but they're easy enough to take out one at a time. They tend to get separated pretty easily, so, and then they tend to not go past a certain spot in the level, so you can easily just swing around them, do your standard attacks, and wear down their stamina. And you can also knock them off the ledge. I find that the shove attack is not as reliable for me as I want it to be, so, I tend to not use it as often as maybe I could be using it. So here we are at the Dragon Sanctum, which is a spooky crypt full of horrifying things, which you'll see soon. And it's got a nice little song, nice little ditty. You don't want to go that way immediately. You drop down a set of stairs and you're kind of locked into, nope, that's the next stairway, sorry. You don't want to go down this way immediately because you'll drop down into a room with lots of horrible things that want to kill you. And you can take them out from a different perspective or a different, terrain. It is often hard to talk and play Dark Souls at the same time. It does command a major chunk of your brain. So there you have it, there's a little Zelda puzzle for you. And I want to show you guys something before I go into this room. You see that ghost guy over there? Typically you would say, oh, that's another player, right? That's just someone else who had played the game before and the game is just showing me their shadow. Well, you're wrong, because spoilers, those are enemies and they can hurt you. And you can't hurt them unless you destroy their suits of armor, and I presume their corpses, which are located always nearby in adjacent rooms. So let's run past them real quick. Let's blow that guy up. As you can see, they're fast. They have 2 swords, and they like to use them. So let's escape for now. We will draw them out one at a time because they are hard enemies to fight. Chuck some Estus for good measure. As you can see, that guy is completely means business, but like anything else in the game, if you are savvy, you can backstab the hell out of them. And I wonder how far they'll chase me out here. If I can get them to back off a little, it looks like they are. The enemies in this game are a little silly. They obey these strange, like, unspoken rules about going back to where they came from. That's one thing I'd like. Sorry, that's one thing I'd like to see change in Dark Souls, or Bloodborne, rather, is that enemies that will follow you through a level regardless of how far you go, because that would just be horrifying. As for now, I know I can always come back here and just rest for a minute, but you know, I'm not always going to be that lucky. So please let me know if you liked those enemies. I think that's a really cool trick, and I'm sorry that I spoiled it for you on the stream. Hopefully you already knew about them, because I didn't. We got kind of a standoff going here. And I'm used to having a much better shield as well, which is one of the benefits of having a strength build. This guy isn't too far away. Yeah, at first I was like, I kind of regret having a strength build. I'm not as good at melee combat as I want to be, but this area really, I think, strength builds are great for it. Just because enemies have a lot of HP, they hit hard, they're resistant to like everything, and many other reasons. I mean, it's always good to have a helper that can have spells and such, but yeah, the lack of movement could tip you off if you look for it, but when you just run into the room just looking for things, you just assume naturally, like, oh, I'm just running past the ghost. So, like, if you're careful and you look into the room before, you'll notice that, hey, they aren't moving, but I just pretty much ran into the room like, hey, what's going on in here? And I was punished for it. Strangely enough, out of all these chests, not one of them is a mimic. And there are like 6 of them. I just found that bizarre. Like, Dark Souls 2 is really light on mimics in general, but for some reason they are keeping that up in this DLC as well. And if you don't know what a mimic is, basically it's a treasure chest that when you open it, it starts to eat you. And there are ways to tell if it's not, but usually people miss out on them because they're very subtle. And let's do one more. Titanite slab. All very good treasures. Okay, sorry. So what is beyond this room? Well, I'll show you. Beyond this room is the area that we could have dropped down into earlier, but we chose not to. And the reason why I chose not to is because you can take out a lot of those enemies beforehand. You'll have to run through that room regardless, but if you take out the enemies first, obviously you're going to have a much easier time going through it. Luckily I have about 1 billion life gems, so I don't have to always use my Estus. These guys are poisonous naturally, so... Oh, oops, forgot I had my chime out, not my mace. That's always a problem. I really am only used to using one weapon in my other characters, so... There you have it, folks. Alright. So these guys are poisonous, and I'll get them to chase me a little bit so I can get some more room. They are poisonous, and if you get too close to them, your poison meter will fill up, which makes it hard to backstab them without getting poisoned yourself. You have to be very quick with your backstabs. So just be warned about that if you encounter them yourself. I think he'll go this far with me. I maybe drew that a little too close, but whatever. So let me let me know what you guys think about the DLC. I love it. I think it's great. It probably took me about 3 to 4 hours just to get here in my initial playthrough, but as with any kind of Dark Souls experience, once you know an area, it's much less intimidating. I have no idea what set that trap off. I've never set it off before. Oh, it's that. Okay. Well, that helped me out a lot. See, you guys, even I learned something in this playthrough. And I'm supposed to know everything, right? These guys are not poisonous, so I'll have them follow me out. Again, like, Dark Souls, typical Dark Souls, draw enemies out one at a time, if you can help it. Because enemy AI is not too complicated in Dark Souls, if you're familiar with the series at all. Enemies are pretty easy to trick, which is good, because you can take every advantage you can get in this game. Yeah, the DLC is great. I mean, like, I've been playing Dark Souls 2 non-stop pretty much. I'd have to give it up a few times for just, you know, review games and stuff like that, but, if you have an end-of-game character, this DLC is perfect. Like, I finished the game with this character, so you can see it's still a challenge, even with a totally built-up character. Level 150, by the way, in case you weren't around for the beginning of the stream. Man, I am not used to having a bad shield like this. We have somebody mentioning the aesthetics in this DLC. Yeah, it's not the prettiest DLC. I think it's not going for pretty, though. It's kind of just a dank and moldy cavern. I'm hoping the other DLCs will have different types of environments, you know? Maybe like some more open vistas, woods, things like that. Or maybe an environment we haven't seen before, like a snowy environment, something like that. I don't think there's been a snowy environment in Dark Souls. Maybe I'm wrong, I really can't think of any. Oh man, I'm getting unlucky. Okay. We're doing okay. The next part's pretty tricky, but you can also run through that section too, and I made a habit of doing that multiple times in my last playthrough. Poison trap. Oh, I guess the Painted World was snowy. Not snowy enough for me. I want, like, just blizzards. Maybe that make like weather a mechanic that can block your view or something like that. So there's a necromancer. Let's take this person out first. They can be really dangerous. As you can see, I'm moving the switch to open the doorway. Should take one more to open it. Maybe two more. So I'm gonna get away from this guy because he does poison and that's annoying. I want him to charge at me because that is really easy to get him a backstab on. Yeah, I'd like to see a level in outer space, but they can make that happen. I don't know how, but it's from software. They can surprise you. Human effigy's always nice. And yeah, more switches. Like someone on the internet once said, this is Zelda Dungeon in Hell. So we got switches, we got traps, we got no blocks to push as far as I know. Lots of narrow corridors. Not good if you're claustrophobic. This is eventually a shortcut we'll open up later. There are so many shortcuts in this. Okay, there's a hole there. We don't want to drop down there immediately. We can, but I want to jump over it for now. That won't kill you. As you can see, another kind of Zelda-y puzzle. You have to just hit this switch with an arrow, which I'll do now. And that'll open this door. And I believe... Oh, Dark Spirit. Great. If you watch my last stream, you'll know I don't have a good time with Dark Spirits invading. I am gonna drop down this hole. No, I can show you spider hell at least. Oh, Sid, why did you have to find me in spider hell? Let's just drop down and see what's up. And that did not kill me for some reason. I forgot I don't have the cat ring on. That did kill me though. That really did kill me. So I'll play for another like 10 minutes just to round out the hour here, but yeah, I'm gonna try to make as much progress as I can, but I think that's roughly about I don't know, maybe a third through the DLC, maybe a little more, but it probably took me a good 3 to 4 hours to make it that far initially. I mean, like if you're a pro, like ultra player, it might not be as difficult for you, but I played a lot of Dark Souls, so I'm gonna put on that cat ring before I forget, because there are a lot of drops that I'll need to survive. Okay, and these guys aren't too hard. I'm just gonna run past them. I want one to get in front of the other though, so I can juke around them. It's kind of like a football RPG in a way. And I'm gonna follow my, retrace my footsteps, but I'm just gonna dash. I'm gonna run. Because why bother fighting all those enemies again? I've opened up the doorway down here. And we don't need to mess around with anything. As long as we keep running, we'll be fine. That guy will follow me, but I don't think he can jump over a pit. Nope, he just turned around. He said, screw this, I'm going home. And this may seem spooky as hell, but there's absolutely nothing at the end of this hallway except for a switch, and I forget what that switch does, but we'll hit it anyways. Just because, like, it's a switch. I do like that it's you can hear the sound of something happening, but you don't really know what happened. There is a dude in here that is not happy with me. Luckily he's a lance dude, and they are not too great in these short corridors, although he is poisonous, which is not good for me. That was pretty stupid. Alright, well, we'll back off for a minute. Okay. That'll do it. He died right before my poison meter could fill up, so that's great. And we have a deadly staircase. As you can see, there are lots of spikes that come out if you're not careful. I don't think I figured out how to deactivate that yet. You might just have to run down it. I don't want to test it yet. But to finish this off, let's go down to where we came earlier, where those spiders got me. And it is pretty gross because you can hear the spider crawling up at you, and not good if he unleashes that that cloud of crap in this tiny hallway, because it will destroy your weapons. You just hear them down there. It's really gross. And this is a new area, which is completely terrifying, but we'll see what we can do with our bow and arrow in a second. So we got a lot of those sarcophagus phantom ghost guys in this area, and we have to go somewhere else to... We have to actually go to another room to take care of their ghosts. Oh, jeez. Okay, we'll do one more run. You do have to go to another room to destroy their ghosts, and that room is off the beaten path, but we'll find it. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. We're gonna have one more go at this, so I'll be playing for another like 5-10 minutes or whatever, however long it takes me to die. So please get in your questions, comments, whatever before then. I'll answer them as soon as I can. If you want to watch this again, it's gonna be streamed to our or uploaded to YouTube as well. And please subscribe to us on Twitch. Just hit follow below, and you will follow us, and you'll be up to date with all of our cool streams that we're gonna be doing twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday. So stay tuned for those. Again, we're gonna get these guys so we can run around them. There we go. Pro strats for Dark Souls 2. And let's go back to where we came from. Boop. See, as you can see, like, a lot of this DLC is just like, okay, I have opened up a pathway, I'm going to use that to run the hell past everything that is going to kill me. Which I love. I mean, like, a lot of it's just like knowing where you can go, knowing what will and what won't kill you. Now I'm paranoid about ghosts, by the way. We tend to announce streams on the same day, but I can tell you this much. Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. PST is the typical start time for the streams. And if you missed them, please subscribe to our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/USGamerNet. And, yeah, I should have taken out that Necromancer. But maybe I can climb this ladder fast, really fast. Oh god. Okay, I'm semi-safe. Thank you all for coming, too. I appreciate everyone's support, and I love showing off Dark Souls. Again, I wish I was better at it, but it's a hard DLC, friends. So we're gonna head down into the spooky crypt of Doom. This could be the last part of the playthrough, but as you can see, tons of these ghosts. What I'm gonna do now is sort of like run as fast as I can around them, smashing armor as I go. I didn't get that one. This is basically what you have to do to stand a chance against these guys. As you can see, they don't let up. Wow. Wow. Okay. Let's try that again. So I'm gonna smash every bit of armor I see. That will make them visible and killable. Luckily, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that every time you die. You only have to do it once. They will respawn, but their armor won't. The armor that holds their soul or whatever makes them invisible. I really don't think Dark Souls 2 is coming out on next-gen systems. I could be surprised though. I mean, it's not something I ever expect to happen, but stranger things have happened, to use a corny old expression. And the phantoms that we fought earlier, their bodies of armor are also held down here, so they're not immediately in the same room as they were earlier. You have to run around in this area and destroy them yourself. That should be all of them, I think. Oh, there's one more. So now I'm gonna run out of here. Ooh, I got the Sanctum Princess Tiara. And this actually opens up a shortcut to the beginning of that staircase that we walked down. So if we head through here, if we cut through there, we'll go back to the beginning of the staircase that we headed down to get into this area. But we're not going to do that yet. I want to see how long I can survive. And I know there's a bonfire there. I've never been able to get to it. There's got to be a switch somewhere to open that up. I just haven't found it yet. And as you can see, these guys, they're damaged by the spikes. So if we alert him, I'm pretty sure he's damaged by the spikes. I think he actually has to start moving. So if you get them to start moving around, they can kill themselves by just walking around on the spikes. There is a really awful, mean... Wandering Spirit. Dark Spirit, rather. There is a really terrible, really mean NPC invader coming up. I don't think we'll get to see him because a human probably is going to kill me, but, you know, whatever. Let's go down and see him anyways, because I know he's down here. That could truly be the last... Oh, oh jeez, I didn't think he'd follow me all the way in here. That's not fair at all. Nope. Sorry, guys. That was not fair at all. Oh well. Oh well. Okay, so thanks for joining me for today's live stream. That was Dark Souls 2, the Chasm of the something? Sunken King? Cavern of the Sunken King. Help me out. I forget what this is called. But I totally recommend it. It's great. It's super fun. It's well worth $10. The season pass seems to be a good idea. I'm not sure if the next two are going to be as good as this. They set the bar really high, so who knows what's going to happen next. But, yeah, thanks for joining me. Please subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to us on Twitch. You'll be alerted to all of our streams. Like I said, they normally happen Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. PST, 5 p.m. EST. So I want to say thanks, guys, so much for coming to my stream. And I will see you next time. It probably won't be Dark Souls. I've been streaming too much Dark Souls, if such a thing could happen. And look at my cool mace. And I will see all y'all later.